Oh, it's cold. Just kidding. It's too freaking hot right now. Just joking. It may be seasonally fall, but it is still feeling like summer. It is too hot. However, happy fall. We have officially reached the autumnal season. It's been a while since I've been on here. I had to take a few weeks off. I got really busy over the last few weeks, the last ending of September with substitute teaching and fall sports schedule. So I thank you for your patience. The last video was a vlog, and I think the video before that was like my recommendations for fall books to give you the vibes for fall and Halloween as an adult. Today I want to go over the books for kids. I was going to break this apart into two separate videos, but I just know time constraints, I'm not going to be able to. So we're going to start in with the books that I have for fall recommendations. So getting started for little kids, if you're needing picture books, books that somehow, I know this one is not a fall book, but it just feels like one, is The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. Just for some reason, this feels like a fall book to me. It's not really, but it feels very cozy. Several years ago, they had a little half-hour animated edition that came out of this, and it's so calm, so soothing. My kids loved it. I love it. When I see it, we watch it. Another one is The Lonely Mailman. This book, it's not so much the story, but it is the colors. The colors of this book are just so rich and just autumnal in coloring that it so feels like a fall book to me for little kids. I love it. My youngest son asked me to read this a lot. It is fairly long, pretty wordy, but he just loved it. He loved the pictures. It has a good feel. Like it's one of those, it's not paper, but it's not like, it's just weird. It just has a feel to it that feels good in the hands. The next few, now we're moving along. That's what I have for picture books for fall vibes. But a book that I read to my kids as a bedtime book was The Adventures of Geraldine Wilkins, the first book in the series by Karen Kaufman, where we follow Geraldine Wilkins, a little mouse about to become a middle mouse. And this book starts with her family's preparation for winter. So in the fall, them preparing for her first winter. So she's experiencing leaves for the first time, gathering of food stores for the winter. And it's just like very cozy. My younger son especially loved these books. He was very little when we read them. But one thing about this whole series is that it follows Geraldine and her family as she grows up, but also like a year in her life. So it is very fun to read these to like little kids, like probably like 4 to 5 year olds, especially for bedtime. There's very few pictures, so it's a harder book, but it's a good book to start reading if you're looking to start the family reading at night where you're looking to advance your kids. So you read your few picture books and then you add in a chapter book. My son always fell asleep to this one, but we only read like a page or two. It took a lot of time, but we really settled into it. Another book similar to that is The Little House on the Prairie. Whether your kids are old enough to read it on their own or you're reading it to them, just especially this one, The Little House in the Big Woods, definitely has that fall vibe, because again, much like the Geraldine story where the family is preparing for winter, we follow the Ingalls family as they prepare for the winter. And throughout the winter, the snow, and it's a good vibe right now. For your kids who probably middle grades, so like 5th through 8th grade, it might be a little less for 8th grade, but one of my favorites, and I know I've mentioned it before, is Hatchet by Gary Paulson. Just because Brian has to experience the cold on his own. My son really enjoyed it. He read it this summer. He loved it. And then for high schoolers, again, I know I mentioned it in my Fall Vibes books, but it's one I read in high school, and that's Jane Eyre. The Bronte sisters have just a vibe about them that just feels mysterious and like fog. I do hope to get through Wuthering Heights this year. We'll see if I can make that happen. But like the Bronte sisters are known for their Gothic style writing. All right, that's for the Fall Vibes, just those types of books. Another great option, if these are not books you've heard of before, but just go to your local library, ask your librarian in the children's section for fall books. Right now, I know ours has a lot of the fall books on display. Some good ones are The Leaf Thief and Pete the Cat Falls into Fall. Like Pete the Cat has a book for almost every season. Little kids really like that. And even as your kids, as you get older, go in and ask. Your librarians want to help you find a book that you will love. It's what they really enjoy. Well, one of the things they enjoy. But just go to your library, ask for books that feel like for fall recommendations. There's plenty of options out there beyond these. These are just the ones that we have here that my kids and I have enjoyed over the years. All right. Next, this is where it gets a little more fun for me. So when my younger son was really little, and even like when my oldest was in like preschool, one of our favorite Halloween books was Spooky Pookie by Sandra Boynton. I think I said that right. But we just, it's simple in nature, talking about trying to pick out a costume with Pookie. Still fun to read. I enjoy it because it's really easy. I think this is one of the first books my younger son actually both my sons could read on their own just because it was so simple and they had it memorized. It was fun. Another one is a retelling of The Nightmare Before Christmas in the Little Golden Book series. This one kind of can go for any time between Halloween and Christmas for our family. Just because there is both holidays suggested in it. We also like It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Classic. Whenever we can find the show on, we will watch it. But my boys have always kind of liked the Charlie Brown holiday specials. Let's go to this one. Last year, we really enjoy Creepy Pair of Underwear by Aaron Reynolds and Peter Brown. So Aaron Reynolds is responsible for the words and Peter Brown is responsible for the illustrations as we follow Jasper the Bunny and his desire to have creepy underwear and how he goes about being too scared of them and then finding a use for his creepy pair of underwear. We like this one. My kids, they're boys. They think underwear are hilarious. So that's where we are at. But one of my personal favorite Halloween books is Room on the Broom. So this also is by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler, who wrote The Gruffalo. So this is about a witch and what happens to her. She's kind at heart, and her adventures with her cat and friends they meet along the way. This is another one that has a half-hour animated story or show to go with it if you can find it. Highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites. I wish we had it. The other thing with this, it helps with the reading of the story because you have the narrator up over the show and the way the narrator says stuff. It just adds in little extra details as we have read the story every year. So that's a good one. Now, I don't have many books for older kids because once you get to high school level, I think you can more venture into Stephen King. You can go into a little bit more of the horror. genre and science fiction. For younger kids, so I would say like 3rd grade through middle grade, because it can be comforting, is anything Goosebumps, R.L. Stine. So these are all books that have been well loved. These are not my copies of these books, but they are good books for this time of year. Last year, my oldest son and I read Welcome to the Dead House for bedtime during Halloween. He did not. I think he went on and read a few more of these. These were books that we got as leftovers from like a school sale. But these are decommissioned basically from a classroom because they have been well loved, well used. So that's a suggestion. If you are looking for new ones for your kids. Halloween books can be hard because you don't want to go too far where you're scary, like too scared. And again, there's always the classics like Harry Potter and any books that have to deal with magic or magical elements, anything that could be considered creepy. Just use your own discretion as a parent when it comes to those types of stories for your kids. You know your kids best. You know their level of scarability, what's going to affect them, what won't affect them. And sometimes we need to push them to show them that it's just a story. There's nothing to be afraid of. But we're coming into a season where it can be taken too far, too quickly, too easily. So it's just a matter of knowing your child, knowing your family preferences, and what you allow to come in. I personally think it's awesome. I think it's fun. I'm jealous of people that can really handle the creepy, questionable factors of things. I really cannot anymore tolerate it, but it depends on what I'm watching, or what I'm reading, usually. But those are just some suggestions. Again, go to your library. I know our library, in one little section in the board books, there are stickers that identify the holidays that each book pertains to. So there's like Five Little Pumpkins is one of our favorite stories. And if I need it, I can go to the library and I can look for the little jack-o'-lantern on the edge of the book to indicate that that's for Halloween. I can do that for Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter and Hanukkah. And there's all sorts of other, like, we don't have, like, we're not too diverse here, unfortunately, but like there's different holidays that you can find, and it's easily identified by a sticker and like what this suggested book pertains to. So libraries are great resources. These are just the books that we had in our own personal library. I hope that you're enjoying this fall season, that you've been able to get to the pumpkin patch or to the apple orchard. Despite us being in the middle of a heat wave again, like the last few days, it's been almost 90 at the end of September, beginning of October, and I'm happy for it because I know here in a couple of weeks we'll probably be crying about how cold it is, but just enjoy this season. Find the things that you love to do and make sure you do them. Have a great Halloween and a happy fall.